We plan to put a lot of other Janet core equipment. So as you could imagine, Janet supports research and education. A lot of students are using the network, not only for their studies, but they live in halls of residence. So we move a lot of Netflix traffic around the network. So we'll be putting some Netflix caches that help to manage that traffic more efficiently on the network.
Are there any other services like Netflix that you could be doing that for, like Google or anything like that? Or?
We have direct pairings with Google and Amazon to manage their traffic directly onto the network.
So if anyone's watching Amazon Prime Video, it's the same sort of thing?
It is, yes, yeah, that'll go across Janet directly into the Amazon network.
So how much spare capacity is there here?
We've got terabits essentially of spare capacity in the current systems. This is where the Janet network enters the data centre. The data centre is actually on the core of the Janet network, so we have diverse fibre going out to two of our core points of presence, one in East London, in Docklands, and one in West London, and that's how it connects to the Janet network. So we have our optical equipment lighting that fibre, which is Sienna optical equipment. So at the moment we've got two 200 gig wavelengths, and we're about to add a second set of 100 gig wavelengths as well. And then we have the Juniper routing equipment.
If we were to look in the hole where the cables come from all the universities, for instance, what would we see if we looked?
Well, it's not that exciting. It's basically a pair of fibres coming in one side of the building, and then another pair of fibres coming into the other side of the building. And as I say, those fibres go to a location in East London and a location in West London.
And they go into here and then get distributed amongst all your...
That's right, they go into the optical equipment and then into the IP switching equipment, and we either present 1 gig connections or 10 gig connections to each of the customers. The two fibres come in. They first of all come into the optical equipment, and that does the sort of demultiplexing out of the light signal, and then that gets put into the switching and routing equipment to which each of the customers in the data centre connect. So we have out of the routing equipment individual pairs of fibre that go into either data hall 1 or data hall 2. It's fibre coming out of the equipment, and that goes through the in-data centre patching infrastructure. So the Sienna equipment there, that on a single fibre is essentially capable of carrying 8.8 terabits of information. At the moment, as we're growing into the data centre, we've got 200 gigabits, soon to move up to 400 gigabits. This is the core equipment that powers the Janet network. So we have a national core that extends from Exeter in the southwest up to Edinburgh and Glasgow in Scotland. We have about 6,500 kilometres of fibre that connects all that core equipment. And that core connects to 17 regional distribution networks that then connects to the universities and the colleges and the public research institutions. So the signals come into the optical equipment, the Sienna equipment, and then get patched into the Juniper IP switching and routing equipment in this rack here. This is taking the signal out of the optical equipment, converting that light into the internet protocol signal, and then customers connect out on individual ports. So the signals come out of that Juniper IP equipment, come in via the fibre patching into this patching rack, and then that'll go off into the wiring infrastructure on this yellow overhead trunking. So we connect 2 ways out into the data hall, so it's fully resilient. So it'll come out into two of the overhead raceways and then be diversely routed, take different routes into the data hall that it's going into. So if one of these overhead raceways were to be damaged, the other raceway would carry the signal.
Have you had anything like that happen yet?
No, we haven't, no. Not in the data centre.
And how long has this been in force, this system?
It's nearly a year now it's been up and running.
And have you seen major differences in using this system than before, how you had it before? Was it?
Oh, well, this is our first data centre on the network, so this is the first time we've done this.
Online gamers know the further they are away from the game they're trying to play, the slower the response. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, Janet is a very high capacity, very fast network.
And the finger vein reader, rather than just a traditional fingerprint reader, actually searches for signs of life. So it has to make sure that you haven't had your finger cut off and someone's brought you through.
How is it decided who gets to use the power and when?
There is a very important component in the grid, which is what we call the middleware. The middleware is this.